Okay, welcome to problem number 1. You will notice going through all of this that all of the problems look the same. The only thing that difference is the stickers and also the fact of which way they're facing. But they're all asking for the same thing, just like our target statement was saying. We want the radius, diameter, circumference, and area of the circle that is on the thing. So some have a radius, diameter. That's the only thing they have in common. They either have a radius or a diameter. So you're starting with one or the other. You're either starting with a radius or a diameter to kind of make it a little easier. I didn't start you off with a circumference or an area to have to figure things backwards. We're just going to start off with a radius or diameter and go from there. In this box right over here, you're going to show your work like we've shown it in the past. So I'm going to double click on this box, get a cursor going, and the first thing that I have is diameter. So my diameter equals 23. I have to make sure it's a lowercase d because that's just kind of the rules. It's not an uppercase d, it's a lowercase d. And I need to make sure that I write that on there. So there's nothing that I need to do to get a diameter. I already have it. They provided it for me. So in this box, I'm just going to write that. My radius, however, I need to go ahead and get that information. Now, if you had filled out this form right here, you could actually go back to this slide and pull any of your formulas. If you had stacked your formulas like I had asked you earlier in that video, you can go ahead and reference those and pull those. So for the sake of time, however, we are going to go ahead and assume that you did that and you saw, oh, to get my radius is d divided by 2. Either that or I have it memorized. Memorizing stuff is actually really good as well. So now we just need to make sure this uppercase r stays as a lowercase r. My d, look, up here it says d equals 23. So I'm going to replace that d with 23, put down my divided by 2, and I'm going to go ahead and solve for that. R equals 23 divided by 2 is 11.5. I know that because I just divided. You don't actually need a calculator for that. You can take 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 3 one time with some left over, and with actually 1 left over, do a decimal point, then I have 10, and that's 5. 5 times 2 is 10. I know I probably went too fast on that for you, but if you did it on paper, you'll be able to see it if you write it down. Remember, top dog goes in the house. So the 23 is your top dog. He goes in the house. The 2 is on the outside. So just in case you forgot that part. I'm going to go ahead and put 11.5 right there. Now I'm going to make another space. The next thing it's asking for is circumference. Again, if I had done the previous slide, I could go in there and pull whatever formula I need to solve. I am going to use circumference equals pi d because then I don't have to multiply one number instead of 3. In order to make pi, you cannot use TT. Some people are doing that. That is not a pi symbol. You cannot use a lowercase n. That is not a pi symbol. All of those are what we call variables. You cannot use those. You cannot use some other made up device that you want. You guys, we have a pi symbol. Go up to Insert, go down to Special Characters, come over here and click so you have a cursor, type in PI, and then click on pi right there. Once you click on it, you go out of that, it made it right there for us. So we have C equals pi d. Okay, so now we know pi equals 3.14 because we've memorized that. Or if we have not, we're going to, right? And then we know d is 23 because up here, right over here, and there's 3 different places it tells us. So now we just go ahead and multiply. 3.14 times 23 equals 72.22. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, 72.22. Now I just need to solve for my area. A equals, if I do not want to make another pi symbol, I can go up here, highlight this pi, hit Control C, go down here, Control V as in Victor. There, I just copied and pasted it. So my area equals pi r squared. You cannot place a regular 2 next to the r because that means pi r2. This is not pi r2. It is pi r squared. Those, if you put pi r2, it's very, very different. So Format, Text, go to Superscript right here because you see that tiny 2 right there. Click on it. It just made my cursor small. I put my 2. I have to take it off now. Format, text, superscript. It just took it off, and I can hit enter. All right, so now I need to substitute my values. A equals pi is 3.14 times my radius. What is my radius? We can go over here, 11.5. When I square a number, that means this little number tells me how many times I'm going to take the r and multiply it by itself. This is 2 times. So I have the radius here once, and I'm going to put it one more time because I am timesing the radius 2 times. Not 2 times the radius, I'm multiplying the radius twice. So I have pi times radius times radius. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that math. Of course, I'm going to use a calculator. 415.27 is my answer. I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. And now I have shown all my work, how I got my diameter. They gave it to me. My radius, I used the diameter and I divided by 2. My circumference, I took the diameter and I multiplied it by pi. My area, I took my radius, I squared it and multiplied it by pi. And now I have my radius, diameter, circumference, and area. And here is all the work that I'm showing. This is exactly how every single slide needs to look for slide 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, those problems. Those are your problems. You're going to revert back to this video if you need any help or assistance in what you need to do. Other than that, I'm going to let you do this work on your own because I know you can do it. You are smart. You're brilliant. You know how to do this. You've been walking through it for about 2 weeks now. And so this is something that I know you can do. I will be on the Zoom if you have any questions. But other than that, just walk through your steps. This is a really good example on how to walk through those steps. So use this as an example once you've created slide number 1 or problem number 1 in your assignment. Use it as an example, so that way you can do the other slides a little bit better. But I know you can do this. It's not hard, it's just a little time consuming, but you have nowhere else to go. You're in math for 45 minutes. Might as well do some math. All right, miss you guys. Hope to see you on Zoom, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.